So it's now my pleasure to introduce the Victorian Minister for Crime Prevention, Mr. Edward O'Donoghue, MLC. And it's actually gratifying to hold a crime prevention conference in a state that actually invests so much in crime prevention. There's actually a ministry, which is pretty cool. Mr. O'Donoghue was also Minister for Liquor and Gaming Regulation and Minister for Corrections. He was elected a member of the Eastern Victorian region in November 2006 and was re-elected in 2010. He was raised in Murdoch, educated in Mount Eliza. He spent most of his life on the Mornington Peninsula, where he now lives with his wife and 3 young children. He completed a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Laws with honours at the Australian National University, going on to practice as a solicitor and barrister before becoming a director of a successful real estate and project management company. Mr. O'Donoghue became the Shadow Parliamentary Secretary for Infrastructure and Resources in February 2008. In November 2009, he also took on the role as Shadow Parliamentary Secretary for Families. He was appointed Parliamentary Secretary for Transport from December 2010 to March 2013 and was Parliamentary Secretary to the Premier in March and April 2013. He's been Minister for Crime Prevention, for Corrections and Liquor and Gaming Regulation since April 2013. And it's my pleasure to welcome the Minister to open the conference formally. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you, Adam, very much for that warm introduction. Well, it is very exciting to have all of you here today, and for those of you from interstate and overseas, let me extend a very warm welcome to you to Melbourne and to Victoria. And I hope in between the presentations over the next 2 days that you have the opportunity to taste some of what Melbourne has to offer, to see some of what Melbourne has to offer, and for any of you staying longer, I hope you can get to see some of the great attractions, sites that country Victoria has to offer as well. So I wish you all the best for the next couple of days. We're very lucky at this conference to have some of the world's leading practitioners when it comes to crime prevention and the relationship with communities. From the US, we have Professor Richard Catalano. He's the Professor for the Study and Prevention of Violence and the Director of the Social Development Research Group at Washington University. For over 30 years, Professor Catalano has led research and program development to promote positive youth development and prevent problem behaviour. From United Kingdom, we have Professor Nick Tilley, who is the Director of the University College of London Security Science Research Training Centre and a foremost international authority on crime prevention and policing. And we also have Ms. Karen McCluskey, who is the Director of the Scottish Violence Reduction Unit, who has worked for many years championing a public health approach to preventing violence and indeed has been a pioneer in new thinking in this space. Great to have Karen here. And from across the Tasman, from our friends in in New Zealand, we have Superintendent Bruce Baird, National Manager of the New Zealand National Prevention Centre, who has been leading the implementation of a new police operating model which integrates prevention into the traditional police models of response and investigation. Please join me in welcoming our 4 international guest speakers. As I'm sure all of you appreciate, a conference like this doesn't just happen. From the conception of the idea to the development of the program, the bringing the international speakers and all of you who have an interest in crime prevention today, it takes a great deal of work, a great deal of effort and many, many hours behind the scenes in making it happen. So I'd like to particularly acknowledge the Australian Institute of Criminology for their leadership, and I'd like to particularly thank the Crime Prevention Unit, the Community Crime Prevention Unit within the Department of Justice for their efforts as well. And to Julianne and Sue and your team, most of whom are here today, thanks very much for all the work in making this conference a reality, making it such an exciting agenda, and I'm sure it will go very well. Of course, others such as Victoria Police, the Local Government Professionals Association and the Municipal Association of Victoria have also been intimately involved in the development of the agenda. So thanks to all those who've made this conference a possibility and a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's commonly assumed that crime prevention is a responsibility of government alone. While government's role is no doubt very important, we know that effective crime prevention involves individuals, families, communities, neighbours, and all levels of government working together, each playing their part. The key conference theme, Building Better Local Solutions, fundamentally reflects the Victorian Coalition Government's recognition of the critical role local communities play in crime prevention and community safety. The Victorian Government is proud to have established the first ever dedicated crime prevention ministerial portfolio, reflecting our commitment to this issue. The Government understands and recognises that local communities are best placed to identify and prioritise local crime and safety issues, and is committed to empowering and supporting them to do so. We know that government working in partnership with communities leads to better outcomes. The government's $35 million community crime prevention program supports local councils, community groups, sporting clubs and businesses to implement crime prevention initiatives through a range of grant programs and other initiatives. I'm very pleased to see that a number of the conference presentations relate to initiatives funded through the crime prevention program. These provide great examples of government working in partnership with local communities to deliver lasting local solutions to local problems. And it's fantastic to see these organisations taking the opportunity to showcase the important work that they have undertaken. I was particularly pleased when the conference organising committee were putting the agenda together to see that violence against women as one of the key themes of this conference. Violence against women and children is one of the most serious challenges we face as a community here in Victoria, more broadly across Australia, and in societies right across the world. We are seeing a cultural change take place. Violence against women and children is never acceptable in any form, in any place, whether that's behind closed doors at home, on the street, or in another public place. An assault is an assault, violence is violence. Reducing violence against women and their children is a key priority of the government. We are committed to preventing family violence, holding perpetrators accountable, and working to ensure women and children are safer. I'm particularly proud of the government's significant commitment to establishing, in partnership with the Commonwealth, a national foundation for the prevention of violence against women. And I pay tribute to the leadership of my colleague Minister Mary Woolridge. I'm delighted that the foundation will be presenting on its strategic directions later in the conference. From my own portfolio, the government has invested $7.2 million over 3 years to fund 12 primary prevention and early intervention projects under Reducing Violence Against Women and Their Children grants program. The work these projects are undertaking demonstrates the diverse settings in which our work to tackle the underlying causes of violence against women must occur. There are projects working across local government, workplaces and sporting settings to coordinate region-wide approaches to preventing violence against women. Some projects are focused on promoting equal and respectful relationships between men and women during the transition to parenthood. Others are partnering with businesses and large organisations to bring about structural and systemic change to promote gender, equitable and non-violent workplace cultures. They are working within local government, faith-based and sporting settings to train and build the capacity of male leaders to promote respectful and challenge violence-supportive attitudes in their local communities, businesses and sporting clubs. All of these projects play a critical role in statewide action to tackle violence against women and their children, and in developing the evidence base to inform future work in this critical area. And as I said before, I'm very pleased that some of those projects are presenting as part of the conference over the next couple of days. I'm sure you will all agree that a powerful catalyst for change is when a community comes together to confront the issues it cares about the most. This conference provides a fantastic opportunity for us all to come together to discuss, develop and enhance our understanding of the challenges and complexities associated with crime prevention issues and responses in our diverse individual communities. Over the next 2 days, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about projects that are effectively working to address issues in the nighttime economy. Others focus on crime prevention through environmental design. And I see some of the team from the City of Casey are here who've done some fantastic projects in that space. CCTV cameras in neighbourhood shopping strips and other prominent locations. Problem-solving approaches to crime, problem-orientated policing, and engaging youth and families in crime prevention initiatives. The variety of the conference presentations will keep you engaged throughout the next 2 days and enhance the future work you do in your respective communities to build better local solutions. By working together in collaboration with our local communities, proactively building crime prevention understanding and capacity, the goal of safer, stronger communities can be attained. So ladies and gentlemen, let me finish where I began and welcome all of you here to Melbourne, particularly our interstate and overseas visitors. It's fantastic to see such a full and diverse agenda over the next 2 days. I wish all of you the best for the conference, a very happy stay in Melbourne, and I hope in addition to what you take out of this conference, you get to see some of the sights and sounds of Melbourne and Victoria. Thanks very much for the opportunity.